After the downtown redevelopment went off without a hitch, the new city council was facing an ever-increasing rise in expectations, and not all residents were happy about the increase in density. The council knew they had to act fast, and they saw the waterfront as an opportunity. A flashy, high-profile project would make them look effective, generate more tax revenue, and give them a visible legacy they could brag about at every election. So today, we're transforming our boring, empty waterfront into something exciting. We'll place a few key buildings that I'm really excited about, and much more. Let's jump in. Welcome back to Ashland, and we got a lot of work to do if we're going to get this waterfront up to shape. But I think really the first thing we actually have to do is just level out some of this terrain right here. We can see that there's a little bit of a drop-off, and that's only going to make things way more difficult than it needs to be. Okay, now I want to grab another 4-lane road, and I think we'll just go with the 4-lane boulevard. I like the way it looks, and we're going to go out about 4 units. Perfect, and this right here gives us our 4 units, and then we're just going to send this all the way to the left, I guess all the way to the right too. We'll stop at this hill. Now I want some sort of building that's going to front this road, and really the goal is to find something that'll fit and look nice. And I think we're going to go with the game set match. Almost has a somewhat of a waterfront feel to it. And I want to place this right about here. Now I'm going to grab our piers, and I think we'll use the wide wooden leisure pier. And really, I just want to snap right onto the side of this building and then send it around the back. And then maybe we'll connect right in. Or actually, no, let's send it right here. And then we'll do something a bit more interesting. And we'll go on a bit of an angle, and now we'll snap in. There we go. I'm going to grab all of this with Move It and set it to this node height right here. So now everything should be roughly equal. At least it should be. I don't know if it actually is. And the building's not receiving power because it's not actually connected into anything. So we'll get on that in a second. Now I want to take our pier and extend it out just a bit. I'm going to say about 20 units should work. And now pretty much using our level terrain tool, I'm going to find a height, let's say maybe right here, and just pull all of this back, and we'll get kind of close to the road. I don't think I'm going to use a key wall for this. I don't like what the key walls do to everything else around it, and honestly they can be such a big pain to work with sometimes. Now we can take the medium or the narrow, I'm not sure yet, and essentially I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out every 4 units and then just draw piers further down. And I think the narrow is going to make the most sense, so I'll try that one first. I think we'll send them 4 units down, and then we'll have them be 4 units apart, and that's not 4 units, that's 2. So I've already failed, but I still think it works. I think it looks good. Now I'm wondering how would the medium look? Yeah, it definitely needs to be the narrow. The medium is just a bit too big. So I'm going to stick with this, but I'm going to trim down every other one. There we go. I like that much better. It doesn't feel so cramped. Now let's grab our wide wooden leisure pier and just send it down a bit further. That way it feels like there's a bit more going on. Okay, there we go. Now I'm done. That looks much better. I just fixed some of the spacing. It's definitely a big process, this. And now that we have this in, I think what I want to do next is get one more building, place it somewhere along here. So we might need to extend our road a bit further. And I think we'll extend it. Yeah, I think we're just going to have to level a lot of this. Ideally, we'd level as little as possible. But I don't want to get rid of all of the hill. I still want there to be somewhat of a hill. I think we can do something with this. Now I want to grab a building that's kind of big, feels a bit grand. I stumbled on this one by accident, but I think this is it. I think the Modern Art Museum will actually work really well. And I think I'll align it right about here. And now we'll grab an alleyway, and I want to run it alongside the building. And then from here, we'll do something kind of like this. So we'll go in at an angle, and then we'll just finish it off by going directly into the road. And we're going to get rid of this little piece right here. Now I want to pull this back just a bit, and I think we'll match the same height as right here. All right, great start to the video. It's only been a few minutes and I'm already changing things I'm already doing, but I think that looks a little bit nicer. It felt just a bit off before, and it still does look just a bit off right here, although this one's a pretty easy fix. And of course, the terrain is not going to work with us in the way that I would have hoped. I think that just comes down to the road placement. So let's try and align this one more time. And yeah, no, it's not. So I'm not gonna worry about it. Now looking at all of this, it makes me want to send more piers down here. And because we don't have this unlocked, I'm only gonna go out about 8 units. Okay, and I think that's pretty much done. I think that's looking good. Now, next, we need to find another building. One more, and I think it'll have to be our most grand building. I'm debating on the side, either this side or this side. And I think if done right, the National Gallery of Art could look really, really cool if it's aligned to this angle right here. So let's grab our road and send it down just a bit further. And yeah, unfortunately, all of this will have to be flattened out. And it still won't let me place it on the angle that I'm looking for, so I think I'll need to extend it down. The only problem is I don't want this road to be the main road for this building. Otherwise it would be a bit much. So maybe we'll grab an alleyway and just send it through like this for now. And that should still allow me to attach it to the side of this road. Perfect, there we go, okay. And wow, that was expensive, 3.2 million. We're gonna extend this road down, and we might as well go around the side of it as well. And then we'll connect back into this road right here, but we'll stop at this angle and then we'll swap to our 90. That way our connections are a bit more clean. And you know, I've been looking at this for a while and I feel like something needs to go here. I'm not entirely sure what yet, but something definitely needs to go here. This is just prime space and it feels like if there's a gap between these areas, it'll go to waste. It doesn't have to be like a massive gap, like just a small little gap with some type of building on an angle to match this one, or maybe even oppose it, and I think that would look really good. The question is, what building? And after looking over some of the administration buildings, I'm almost tempted to either go with this city hall, the Citizen Service Center, or even maybe the modern city hall. The modern city hall matches this building over here, and I almost feel like it would make more sense to have it alongside this road, maybe even right beside it. Or there's this Notre Dame building, and that would be really cool to have on our waterfront. It's $5.6 million and $280,000 a month. That's insane. We're kind of doing really well with money, so it's not something we have to worry about, but I feel like we'd miss up a big opportunity if we didn't put this somewhere. I'm not a big fan of it fronting this road because I feel like we're missing out on a lot of the beauty of the building. But if we do something like this, I think that's pretty cool, or maybe even like this. I'm gonna quickly extend this terrain so I can stop talking about the building. And I think I kind of want to place it right here. And this just feels silly, but we're gonna go take a loan. We need about 2.5 million. Maybe we'll go 3 million just to be safe. And yeah, I overshot that like crazy. And now I want to send a road up, and we'll use an alleyway. And we'll just go right about here. I think that should work. We'll snap our building to be, and the important thing is it needs a little bit of space behind it. Maybe I should have thought about that a little bit better. Ooh, I'm kind of scared to place it. It's so much money. I think right there. I think right there should look good. And now I just want to make sure that we're doing something with these alleyways. They'll most likely be turned into either key walls. If I don't have to use key walls, I'd rather not. I could always just put rocks alongside them and then use some type of concrete surface. But we need to do something right here, so we need to bridge these somehow. And maybe we could just use our actual key walls for this. So let's try our narrow quay with pedestrian path. We'll send it alongside here, alongside the back, and then I think we'll connect back in right here. We just need to make sure these are actually connecting, and it seems like they are through that tiny little sliver. That tiny little sliver right there, that's where pedestrians are going to walk from, and that's not good enough. We can do better. I know we can do better. And wow, that's I don't even know what to say about that. That's just so bad. This is why I don't like these key walls. They're awesome, but they're also a big pain. Maybe instead we use an alleyway. And that does make everything a bit more simple. but this also kind of looks silly. Unless we add a little bridge over it. No, it still kind of looks a bit silly. And that's just poor planning on my part. Maybe I should have moved it down a bit. There we go. That's much better. And yeah, I think that looks good. I really like it there. I really like it here. Just being able to look down, see all the water, see all the cool buildings beside you, the piers, the boats if we had any, and this massive, crazy beautiful building. I love it. It really makes the shoreline stand out, and I think all these buildings together is what does it. Honestly, I think I might just add the other one. I think it was the Modern City Hall that was right here. I want to add it. We're kind of broke. We're not taking another loan just to buy this. So for now, I'm going to click play. I'm going to let things run. And if we have enough money at the end of the episode, we're definitely going to add it there. And so I was going to stop right here and just have these main buildings in. But the more I look at it, the more I think we might as well extend down to here as well. And just have one really big, nice waterfront district going on. A bunch of cool buildings. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So we'll grab this road right here and we'll extend it just a bit further down. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to help myself out a bit. And so I want to get a marker for this building. And I can see this little tree right here is on the edge. So I'm going to run an alleyway through here. And I hope it's this one. And yeah, that'll fit perfectly. So now I can actually know not to run through this area. I think we'll connect it in for now. And now I want to break this a bit. So let's grab the same level that we did for over here. I think this will just be my base level for everything that I touch. And we'll pull it all the way back. Really, my goal is just to not have everything feel perfectly connected. I want it to be broken apart a bit. I feel like it's going to make it a bit more natural. And looking at this, I think what we'll do is maybe we'll start pointing this way just to kind of round things off. Or I guess round definitely isn't the right word, but I hope you get what I mean. Everything's pointing this way, even our piers. And I just want a bunch of different directions happening, if that even makes sense. So let's grab right about here. And I think I want to extend a bit further this time. So maybe we'll do something like this. And then let's go out 6 units and we'll send it back in. We'll add our terrain back. So this is 6 units. We want about 2 units of separation, or at least 4. So this next one will start here. We'll get rid of this right here. And how wide was it? 6 units. Okay, so it's 6 units wide. And I just want to grab this middle part and pull it all the way in. And I forgot to change my brush size. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. And honestly, I think we might as well continue the pattern one more time. Just to round things off a little bit further. All right, and that's pretty much ready. A little bit of work that'll need to happen later on, but I think it's ready. And now to create something a bit more unique, or at least make this area stand out even more, I feel like we should go from this point and somewhat meet up with this point right here. So maybe kind of like this. Let's turn on snap to guidelines so we can actually see what this point is. And can we get right on the edge of our map tile? I'll take it. We'll turn off snap to guidelines and let's go another 6 units out. And then we'll just send this all the way back in. Oh yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I know there's nothing in it, but I still think it's pretty cool. All right, now I think all this area needs is just a few piers. I want to use the wide one, but also at the same time I don't. Can we get close to this road without connecting directly in the road? Kind of can. This time, what if we turn off snap to zoning cell length? And we just get really, really close, uncomfortably close. I think that's it. Oh, wait, maybe not. We'll have to get closer to the end and see. Overall, not too bad. You kind of ride the roller coaster as you get over here. But I still think it looks really, really cool. Okay, now we need to decide what's actually going to go here, because I haven't thought about this yet. This could have been like a ferry stop. I could easily imagine a ferry stop happening here. These could be like residential maybe? Some really fancy houses. And it looks like we have some weird things going on. So I'm gonna grab everything in here. And then I'm gonna set it to be the same height as this road right here. or this node. Okay, anyways, now, maybe this could be some residential. And here's a thought. What if we did something with the Mediterranean housing, kind of like this? My only fear is that it sticks out like a sore thumb compared to everything else. I really wanted to find a way to add it in. But there's always that feeling that it just won't work no matter how much you try. And these aren't matching assets yet, so don't worry about that. Just try to envision it with me for a second. See, what about something kind of like this? So we have our 4 Mediterranean housing. Right now there's this weird purple. I was trying to find a color to see if we could copy some of the more vibrant styles from over here onto this building. I don't think it worked all that well. But anyways, so we have our Mediterranean housing. We have this southwest medium density housing. And then behind it, we'll probably get something a bit more small, but still within the same scale. And I'm thinking, what if there was a bit of a jarring transition between our Mediterranean housing and something way more modern like this? And we kind of just gave it a little bit of space, but not too much, and did something kind of like that. I think that surprisingly works. Yeah, that surprisingly works. I'm honestly a bit shocked. All right, so now I'm going to fill in the rest of these areas. All right, and here we go. There's a bit of southwestern housing along these sides, the Mediterranean, the more modern, I guess the more modern southwestern housing as well, except for I smashed 2 of them together. It's not that bad. There's a bit of jank if you look closely, but it's not that bad. Over here again, we have just more mixed southwest housing. And then to finish it off, we have the Mediterranean housing. And I wish there was a smaller version of this, but I think it only turns into a circular building once it hits level 4. So not much we can do. In terms of how I think it looks, I think it looks good. The only thing that worries me is how dense it is. It feels maybe it's just a bit too much for the waterfront. And I think what I'm going to do is leave it here for now. And if at the end of building everything else out, it still feels like it's too much, I'll probably make a few changes. Okay, now I think we need to start getting some areas filled in before we move on to anything else. And I think what we'll do is, I have an idea for a building that can go right here, and we'll find it in our harbor. It's this one right here. I think if we put a bunch of these together, we can try and emulate something of a fishing degree, maybe? I don't know. We do something kind of like that. It almost feels like it serves some type of, I don't know, fishery? I'm honestly not really sure how to explain it. It feels like it could work though. I just noticed that these piers are not at the right height, so we'll bring them all up. And there we go. That already looks much, much better. Now I think I'm going to replace all of their surfaces with something like this for now, just to get somewhat of a cohesive design. And I really don't want these solar panels. They just look a bit too fancy for this use case. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. We need to let this all fill in so we can actually get enough money to place something special right here. We'll change it up just a tiny bit, but yeah, we need a bit more money so we can actually afford it. And we're back, and we have way more money, $5.4 million. I don't think it's going to be enough to place all the buildings I want to place, but I think it's enough to get this building in first. And so I want to place the Nasensuela. I have no idea how to pronounce this. It was really between this one, and this one. This one's just a bit too big, maybe a bit out of scale for what we have going on here. I really, really like this one, but it just feels kind of a bit not grand enough. And then this one fits right in that perfect little middle spot of just grand enough. And I honestly don't even want to place it here. I think it would look nicer a bit further out, maybe somewhere right here. That means any future ships would have to navigate around it, but I think that's something that we can make happen. So let's buy these tiles we need. And I needed to buy this one anyways because we actually developed in it. And then we'll grab this one, and that should be enough. And now what I'm thinking we'll do is we'll grab either an alleyway or a pedestrian road. I haven't fully decided yet. This is a process, that's for sure. And I think what we'll do is somewhere around the middle, we'll pull this all the way down. We'll make sure ground level is on though. And let's say we'll go out 20 units. I feel like that should be enough. Maybe even just a bit too much. And now we'll go 6 units from this side to this side. We'll connect these into each other, and they don't want to connect. They definitely did not want to connect. And wow, we got some weird water stuff happening. It's nice to see. It may be odd, but I just never really see the water do anything. And why won't this connect? Oh, there we go. Finally. Okay, we got it. Now we'll upgrade this back to ground level. Okay, yeah, that should work. That should work. And I think we'll position it more to the left rather than the right. And that gives us milestone 20. We're a megalopolis. Megalopolis. Yeah, I think I pronounced that right. And there we go. Now let's get a feel for it. I like it. I like it. I definitely think it's a better position than right here. It just feels like it overshadow these buildings just a bit too much. And now all we need to do is just get a little road around here. And I think what I'll do is something kind of like this. So the road doesn't just terminate at this building, it terminates more right here. And then we can send some more piers alongside both of these sides. I think we need to get this fixed up though. So let's upgrade this to be a ground level. And we'll turn off snap to zoning cell length so it actually goes in the middle. And then we'll just do all of these, including these ones right here. And this one really doesn't like me. That's fine. We can fix that one later. And I just think we need to fix the angle of this a little bit more. Now the angles are roughly the same. So now we're just going to pull a few piers through here. Okay, and it's I think our piers are done for now. Right here, I really tried to have it be somewhat equal, so I think these are 4 apart, and they go out about 6 units wide, or long, sorry. And then on these ones, I tried to aim it in the middle. It's not perfect, but it's close. I'm not honestly sure if it actually would go in the middle or not. I just figured they wouldn't be kind of on the same side. It might interfere with boats leaving or entering. Now we need to grab all of these and assign them all to the same height. All right, and it didn't crash. That's good news. That's good news. And now it looks much, much better, much more cohesive. Now I'm gonna come over here and I'm just gonna smooth this out for now. Wow, it's so blindingly bright. I'm wondering if we can get a key wall to cooperate with us. I think that's the dream, but if it actually works, we'll find out. And it actually seems to be cooperating. You love to see it. Now let's set it so that the key wall is only on one side. A bit rough around the edges, but you know what? It still works. What is going on with our water right here? I don't even get what's happening. That's so weird. Yeah, I don't know what's going on right here. I really don't get it. Why is it lifting up only right here? Okay, so we got our National Gallery of Art. We have our Notre Dame building. We have a park that clearly needs more maintenance. We have our Modern Art Museum, and there's someone who's waiting for a hearse. While the time lapse was going, I extended the Birch Heights district over to this area just because I seen some worrisome things happening here. But now I'm going to pull this back and set it back to only be this road. All right, now let's create a district just for this area. Right now it's called Rosewood Crest. If you have a better name, comment it below and we'll either run a poll or we'll just add it in. Right now we have 723 households. That's not that bad. So 1,600 residents, 426 jobs available. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, now do we have enough for this building yet? I can't remember how much it cost, but I really want to place it in. No, we don't. 2.4 million. We're so close. And wow, it actually looks like we're having quite a few hearse icons pop up. And that actually reminds me for a second time, sure, I created the district, but I didn't assign any services to it. So let's get all of these assigned. And we're not going to assign our elementary school. It's already at max capacity. It's serving this area really well. And our Northeast Elementary School is already at max capacity as well. That's this one, right? Wow, it's already at max capacity. That's rough. Let's take a quick look and see how many children are actually in Birch Heights now. 3,500 essentially. And our max capacity is 1,700 here, 1,500 here. So we're short by about like 600-ish. I don't know, math isn't my strong suit. Which means we definitely need to get another elementary school in. Yeah, even this one's full too. What about this high school? This high school's not doing too bad. I don't want to keep using the same assets, so I think we'll go with the Chinese Ruby Rock Elementary School, and we'll place that right over here. And that's one sad excuse for a playground, so let's get something in here. Actually, does it have an upgrade? It has the music house, which just adds this little top piece, I believe. Yeah, it seems like it. We might as well add it in. But let's also add in a little playground back here. And I think we'll keep it simple. We'll add one of these spinning wheels, maybe one of these seesaws, and one of these bigger playgrounds, like this one right here. And we'll also add in these little ice hockey nets, because why not? And now I just want to change the surface, because it's horrendous. There we go, that'll do the trick. And I guess we should have probably set this to the district, so we'll set it to Upper Birch and Birch Heights. I just want to make sure all of these are set to the right districts. So Birch Heights and Upper Birch looks good. Yeah, it seems like everything is set to the right district. And it's good to know that our hearse problem went away too. Or at least, kind of. There's 2 icons, but I'm not worried about 2 icons. If there's 20, then I'm worried. Now, while we wait to get a bit more money, I think, given all this new development here, we can easily justify a bit more density along our main road. So let's try and find something that fits the look that we've already established, but isn't too dense at the same time. And we'll start with right here. I'm gonna unlock the underground parking block because it seems like if we do, then we can place parking inside this building because, like I mentioned the last time, I'm not entirely sure if this building actually has any accessible parking, and that just wouldn't exactly make sense to me. I can't see any type of entry other than this one, and I'm not exactly sure how much parking that's providing. So I think it makes sense to just add this in right about here. I wish we could pull it back a tiny bit more, but it doesn't seem like we can. Oh, right there. Now it's invisible. And I'd rather them not connect in through here. I'd rather them use this back passageway. And of course, I put it inside the building, and now I can't access it. I'm gonna disable everything except for buildings. Oh wow, that actually worked. I didn't expect that to work. What is the average capacity for underground parking in apartment buildings? I'm not sure. I guess what we can actually do is just base this off of the amount of residents it holds. So it holds roughly 50 households, and I think 2 parking spots per household is fair. That makes sense to me. So now that we've pushed it back, let's make sure it's all good. And yes, it is. Nice. Okay. That's a really, really cool feature. Like really, really cool. And honestly, while I'm over here, I might as well extend the fence as well. That way these people have at least some form of privacy. All right, now what I've given them is somewhat of a downgrade because I considered them to be the same backyards, but I think it's gonna do the trick. Looks like we're already getting a bunch of people wanting to park in here. That's both great and bad at the same time. I'm actually wondering if we go back and find some of our buildings like these. A building like this has 72 households, and I'm sure there's not enough parking in it, so I'm gonna add some of our parking right here. And I can't click on it anymore, so it's in there forever. Like a building like this, it has, again, 72 households, 186 residents. I imagine we need some form of parking, probably more than what the building is actually offering, because for some reason it feels just a bit unrealistic in that sense. I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to connect it into this road. It'll probably need to be a bit wider. Let's quickly move this tree out of the way, and now what we can do is grab our parking block once again and add it in right here. Now we'll grab our invisible road and just connect all of this in. And it seems like we need to make the surface just a tiny bit wider again. And I think that right there should work. I forgot to mention that I added the North American row housing behind these buildings to make it seem like there's somewhat of older development here. So maybe this is newer development and it's all been redeveloped. So there was actually stuff here before, and this is just a remnant of what remains. Because I don't like getting rid of every single thing. I feel like one of the best ways to actually make something feel old is to redevelop it once you've already had a building down. Now I'll also do a bit of development here, and we'll just keep it simple. Again, kind of like what we did over here. If I can, I want to try and get some mixed use alongside Rosecliff Street. So this will be more mixed use. Maybe back here we can have some more apartment buildings, but I just think it would make a lot more sense to have our main road be filled with mixed use. Yeah, and that's pretty solid. I think we need to do something with our elementary school though. And maybe we should give it this entire lot to work with. I feel like that's probably a good decision. So let's start extending some of these paths, and what I'll do is I'll pull them all the way down to the other side. We'll add in some invisible paths, and we'll just try and give this school pretty much its own lot. Maybe we'll decide to do something different. Maybe we'll cut it off. I think we could definitely cut it off actually. So maybe right about here. Turn off snap to zoning cell length so I can actually get somewhere I want to be, like right in the middle. And we'll pull this down. And then this will be the school's lot, and then this will be for extra development. And then I wanted to give the kids who go to this school some form of block from the outside world. So I didn't want to add a fence, but I did add these little hedges, and wow, they're not even close to perfect. I would just consider that all around a bad job. But with a little bit of move it action, we can definitely make that a bit better. And yeah, so just essentially a barrier. So you can still walk in, because we don't want to restrict people from walking in, especially if they're students or staff. But we don't want random people walking into the lot and having it be super easy to do. And this is pretty much as far as we'll take it. And then we'll just get a nice little grass over here. We'll quickly add in our invisible pedestrian paths, which by adding these in, it'll do exactly what I didn't want to happen, random people walking through here. But I think if we actually want to see any use, this is kind of what we have to do. There we go. And now let's just finish it off with a few trees here and there. This is a high school, right? So we don't need anything too crazy. No, it's an elementary school. How did I forget that? Oh wow, I'm like flabbergasted. Looking at this, it just does not look like an elementary school to me. Definitely looks more like a high school. Either way, I think that should do the trick. And do we have enough money? I think we do. I think we finally have enough money. Yes, finally. Awesome. Let's get rid of these little nubs right here. Goodbye and goodbye. And now we can place, I think, what's going to be our last building. And it does have upgrades. Ooh, that's a nice upgrade. It's an extension wing. So it just reduces the building leveling cost citywide and increases the attractiveness citywide, which I think definitely we're going to add. Plus it just looks pretty cool. Yeah. Once we get the $290,000, we'll add this in. I think that's going to be the extent of our waterfront expansion for now. I still don't know what to do with this, so I need some ideas. If you know what we should do with this, then let me know. Ideally, I'd love to make it a ferry, but we don't have that yet. Here's hoping it might be added soon. This space right here, I imagine, and this is still prototype in my head. Let's quickly unlock subways. And I just want to grab some tracks. And essentially, if we go up about 10 meters, we could run this right through the side. And the way I imagine this being done is once this is fully expanded, everything is complete. We could probably do it before, but we could do it after as well. We can run tracks all the way alongside here, and then we'll come into this middle spot. And then we could probably run them alongside this road as well, right up the middle, until we get to right about here, which is where it'd stop. I think that would be pretty cool, and it would just complement everything we have so well. And honestly, the more I think about this, the more I think that we need more connections into here. So we can't really call it done just yet. And what I'm thinking for the meantime is we'll just grab a gravel pedestrian path and kind of snake our way through here, kind of branching off, and we'll connect in, and we'll try and get as many pedestrian connections as possible. It's a bit rough around the edges, but you know what? I still kind of like it. I see it more as a scenic path. It's not one you're walking for efficiency, but it's one you're walking because this is kind of our main area for tourism, I guess. I don't know. I think it looks nice though. So that's my justification for it. Now we need to add in the surface. And last but not least, just a few trees. All right, now for detailing, I'm gonna go through, gonna add some surfaces, extend surfaces where we need to, like right here. Try and turn these into like plazas, somewhere that's really walkable. I'll clean up a lot of the stuff going around here, add in some rocks alongside the walls, or use key walls. I haven't decided yet. And really just get things looking nice. And for right here, I'll either just extend a path or concrete. We'll see which one comes to fruition, but for now, let's jump into detailing. All right, and that's going to be it for detailing this little area right here. I struggled so hard with these key walls. They can be so frustrating sometimes that I forget why I hate working with key walls. You can tell when you have surfaces, and you can see that surfaces just won't want to pull over properly, and that they have to be really weirdly shaped in order to make it work. And it definitely makes things a bit difficult. So sometimes you just kind of have to give up and just accept that the surface is not going to come out very nice whatsoever. And like, you also have to accept this as well. I could try and mess with this all day to get it perfect, but as long as there's a key wall here and a slope, anything I do to this will mess up this. And it drives me insane. But yeah, I'm actually really, really happy with how it turned out. I think it actually makes the shoreline look integrated. I still think we need to add a beach somewhere, probably over here. But once we get that in, it'll be nice and finished and it'll look like a proper shoreline. But yeah, I love this. I love how it turned out, except for this little tree right here. And wow, look at the leg. All right, there we go. Now I love this. Now it's absolutely perfect. All right, now let's transition to a quick before and after. All right, and that is a wrap. Looking back at it, that 4-lane road is way too long. It needs another intersection. And that section off by the giant tower has 2 key roads instead of an elevated road, which means there's essentially a container of water in the middle. And trams. How could I forget trams? I guess it's because I was thinking about the future subway, but still, that's not really an excuse to have absolutely no transit in what's supposed to be a tourism-oriented district. Either way, thanks for watching and really hope you enjoyed. As always, a super big shout out to our amazing Patreon members, Jake Hill, Gary Key, Deku, Ganger, Griffin, and De Alpha Supreme. If you want to check out Ashland for yourself or help support the channel, head over to Patreon. If you haven't already, a like, comment, and subscription really go a long way. Plus, there's this new hype thing. If you want to hype the video, that's awesome too. I appreciate it. Either way though, I'll see you in the next one.